Anthony Gordon to Barcelona. Let's go. Let's go. Happy. I'm happy about this. I'm happy about this because we need some more quality up there, and I know a lot of Barca fans are really upset. Like, what Alvarez? I really, me personally, I would love Alvarez. I would love Alvarez. He's a really good player. But it's that squad depth that we need because towards the end of our season, 2025, 2026, like when Rafinha got injured with that Brazil versus France game, like I saw that game and I saw when he left second half and I was just like, season's over. Instantly. Instantly was like, all right, season's over. Like, he's the main piece of the puzzle that we kind of need to function. It's not like we need I wouldn't say we need his goals, we need all of that. I would say that. But I'm saying like what we really strive for with him is that press. He's the press monster. The whole, how, Phoenix are, that's his one of his major attributes is pressing. And I really like that because pressing, honestly, you don't even have your front three could just straight press that back line. You have that moment they'll slip up and you'll get that goal and all it mattered was the press. But anyway, let me not get too deep into that. Let me not get too deep into this. Talk about the transfer. And I'm happy about it. The one thing I'm just so surprised about is how quick the transfer was. How quick it was. How quick it came from a rumor to people thinking he went to London for Pedro, this and that. I really like how stealthy Deco is. Like, he's real, like, he's not really trying to open his mouth. He's trying to, he's obviously saying some stuff to, keep the fans happy and stuff, whenever any reporter, press goes up to him. But, yeah, this was very unexpected. And, Anthony Gordon was one of Bayern Munich's, major targets, I believe for Luis Diaz, substitute. And a couple days ago, Bayern president Uli Hoeneß said that we're broke, that we can't buy Kane, that we're just broke. There's a little part of me that tells me that this was kind of like a point five petty move, but we really, obviously, Hansi, Deco, Laporta, the president, they're all on board with this transfer, and honestly, with all three of them on board, having a good chemistry with them three, liking that, opportunity that, already seeing, stuff happening for next season is honestly pretty cool. I really appreciate it, and it's cool. And I really can't wait. I know we're not done with our transfers. This was just really crazy. I know many people are like surprised about it. Many people are like, why? And other people are like, that watch ball are like, what, excited, and I'm excited. I'm part of those people that are excited. He's not I would say Premier League. He's one of those names out there, but it's not like a name you go up to somebody, Anthony, But it's like it'll be really important. We're adding more quality to the top, to the attack. You know what? And if he wants to come to Barca, he wants to come to Barca. Imagine that. Imagine Barca pulled up one day. Yo, you want to come? Yeah. And then but that's how I feel about it. I feel like it's a great opportunity. I would say I don't want to have high expectations. I just want me. I feel like they were going for a really good off the ball player. Off the ball. Off the ball players are so important. A player that can kind of see the run, maybe have, see the run, just make a perfect run, or, the press also. Good positioning, all that is key. All that is key to the game. All that is key. And I'm really excited. It's really cool. I'm just, I can't wait. We're just in the beginning. World Cup not even started yet, and they're doing all that stuff real quick. Just, well, in his case, he's trying to finish up his transfer, all that stuff ahead of the World Cup, just so he got full fresh mind. With England. I wonder how it's gonna be with Rashford and him on the team. I wonder what they're gonna talk about it, like stuff like that. And yeah, and that's I'm pretty excited. Many people hating on it, and it's just like we're in a different era with prices. You know, with prices. I feel like let's say like 10 years ago, this would have been outrageous headlines. You know, but and then obviously there's a Premier League tax, you know, being considered, you know, one of the most or the most competitive league in the in you know in Europe or you know UK, but you know La Liga is unmatched. La Liga is unmatched. That's for sure. Um, and I can't wait to see. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait for any upcoming and transfers, any targets. We'll see what happens. This is only the beginning. The season's over, and yeah, I believe we should be doing good. And Anthony Gordon, he did score those 4 goals in the champ. He has 10 Champions League goals. 10 Champions League goals. He has, I believe, I'm not too sure. I believe 9 goals, 6 assists. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But you know, many people are a big number person, and you know, I remember when wingers were just very good. You know, we're more involved in the playmaking, more involved in helping. You know, as a striker, you know, all that stuff. But we'll see. I see many people saying that you know, for his price, Anthony Gordon will be a starter, and you know, obviously we have Rafa right there, and this is how I see Barca's plan. This is how I see Barca's plan. We get Anthony Gordon. We got him. We keep Rashford, and Rashford is able. So first, Anthony Gordon. I believe his primary positions is left winger and central striker. But we also need more quality for Lamin's position, and I was a big fan of Rooney Bardahi, and in the beginning of the season, he was honestly one of my top contenders as you know rising star for Barca. He was putting up some quality in the Super Cup. I was like, wow, but I don't blame him for his drop in performance because it's the lack of playing time, obviously, you know, knowing that you have to fill in the shoes for my opinion, currently the best, one of the best players in the world, and I feel that's some tough shoes to fit. And you know, I would say he just lacks a little more experience, all that, and I believe him not getting called up to Sweden, you know, is maybe it could be a wake up call, or it could, you know, he could handle it differently. But um, yeah, and I feel like Rashford, you know, Rashford is he's played all the positions of throughout the season. Not consistently, but you know, whenever we needed him. And I feel like Rashford will be good for the right wing. I don't know. I honestly don't know about what happened with Rooney, but the right wing, Rashford could take over maybe Lamine if he's going through something, you know, has an injury. Gordon, you know, be left wing, but Rafa as a starter. I keep seeing many people try to put Rafa in central as a cam, number 10, and Gordon on the left wing, but then I don't know where Fermin and our attacking midfielders, Danny Olmo. So I really don't know. We all need to wait for this transfer market to end and see what are the confirmed transfers. And yeah, and it's I trust in Flick. I trust in my Barca team. Me, Barcelona for life. Blaugrana. And I trust my team. I trust them. I actually don't have any. I know we went through crazy. It's weird. It's weird actually purchasing somebody for this much money because you know how those things went. You know, a couple years ago, buying these players and you know went through a financial. And you know, that's the one thing Barca fans would rather us want have La Masia filled players on the field and be in depth with these star players, and maybe we have a bad track record of star players, really quality star players coming to Barca and not fitting. And this goes back to Anthony Gordon because right now in the Hansi Flick era, press. We're about press, goals, and we have our high line. And I trust in our high line. I know it's been the downfall of many of the competitions that we've played like UCL and stuff like that. But I feel like there's always a solution to that. I feel there's a solution to that. And there's many people also saying like, why did we buy Anthony Gordon? Like we need to strengthen up the defense. And I believe Barca have sailed or starting to sail that ship from Bastoni because I believe it's the same, almost the same price tag as Anthony Gordon. And I don't know. He won two domestic cups with Inter Milan, Bastoni, and after winning those two domestic trophies, that stuff went downhill with them, and it's questionable. Me in my personal opinion, I would we definitely do we definitely do need a squad depth. We do need more. Maybe I say we do need a left-footed center back just because that's the philosophy we're going for with the back line. That's Hansi Flick. That's what he's going for, and I seen it that it works really good. For example, Gerard Martin, amazing season today. I believe he played 18 games as a left center back. 18 games. He started or played. Correct me if I'm wrong. We only lost seven. Oh no, we only lost one game with him in the back line. We only lost one game. And you correct me if I'm wrong. These are just based on my based on the knowledge I have with watching my team. We've he's like the underdog. If there was an underdog of the season, Gerard Martin. Gerard Martin. Because I know people might think he's like young, maybe like 19, 20, but he's actually like 23 or 20, 23, 24, 23, 20, 22, 22, or somewhere around there. And he was a La Masia. They saw his potential. We entered him last season. He was 2 seasons ago. Last season he stepped up, and he was a left back. He was a left back, and converting into the center back. That's why they call him Gerard Maldini. And wow, like it was amazing. Like he plays so good. He has these pass. He makes these really good passes. If you've seen his pass accuracy, it's very good. Him and Kubarsi have very good chemistry together. It's only I feel like the back line only fails is when our attackers fail. And there's many key points to that would be for another video. But there's many key points about the back line, stuff like that. But main topic transfers. Anthony Gordon to Barcelona confirmed. Me, I'm excited, very excited, very 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 excited. What jersey is he getting? Because unless people, the only jersey I know as of now that is open is 9 and 12, and 9, I believe Barca are gonna sign a main primary soul strike, not soul strike, but primary like number 9, and obviously that number's for him. So Anthony Gordon, unless we keep with the whole Rashford situation, but yep, and I trust in Flick. We trust in Flick. We trust. And yeah, that's pretty much it for my transfer talk. Talk about that, and we'll see. I believe tomorrow or this week he's coming to Barcelona, do not paper, medical signing, all that, and it's gonna be good. I look forward to it. I'm just going back to earlier, just so amazed how quick this happened. Is this to show up Bayern? Are we broke? We broke Bayern? But yeah, and that's pretty much it. And yeah, well, yeah, right. Yep. We're gonna have Anthony Gordon, Rafinha. No number 9 yet, Ferran Torres. I don't know if I saw a bid for a 70 mil bid for Julian Alvarez and then with a player added Ferran Torres. I saw that was declined instantly. I mean, it's a no brainer to decline it. But yeah, for me, my expectations or my what I would want, I would say is I would want Alvarez when he was cooking Barca. Man, it hurt. It hurt. It really hurt. I just wanted to, you know, it really hurt. But and then he says he wants to leave. He say he wants to leave, and reports are saying he wants to stay in Spain. Like, what does that mean? PSG obviously have the money to just Marcy, you kidding me? Yeah. PSG have the money to go and swoop him up, but it's also about I believe it's also about player terms too. If the player wants to go, what offers he accepts. It all depends. Many different factors involved. With all this stuff, and then with Barca being back to 1-1. It's like if we got back to 1-1 yesterday and we went into the store and just balled out. But yeah, it's I believe there's more transfers coming in. I believe we're looking for a wing back, one more center back, and then a number 9. And then we got one of the wingers because for my final closing thoughts, when the business end of the season towards like when Rafinha got injured. The most important part was my expectations high. At least expecting semifinals of Champions League. Just went downhill, and then I feel like when we didn't have Rafinha, we obviously had quality up front. We had quality up front. Rashford, I feel like Rashford has his confidence went up. Confidence went up a lot this season, and it's just not. You can't say it's matched to Rafinha. Rafinha's the dog in Rafinha is unmatched. Is all I gotta say. It's unmatched. And then Anthony Gordon is like I don't want to compare him and say he's another Rafinha. He's another like a second or third Rafinha, but we need that press. We need press. Press is the only way we'll succeed in Hansi Flick's plans and Hansi Flick's tactics. That's the only way. Only way is press, and I would say I'm happy with Anthony Gordon. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. I know, but I know a bunch of people probably looked up Anthony Gordon highlights after figuring out the complete transfer, and he scored. He's very good with the ball. He can score. I've seen he has a good left foot, right foot. But what sold me off of just I do watch Premier League too. Not many Newcastle games, maybe the Big Six, but like not whenever it came on. Obviously UCL Barcelona was so scary. It was like they really tied it up 2-2, and then we went crazy. But yeah, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm happy for it. Anthony Gordon, welcome to Barcelona. Visca Barça.